What's going on, traders? Sandro O'Connell with Pristine Capital coming at you with yet another market recap video. It is May 17th, 2021. Please go ahead and click that like button on this video to support the channel. And please subscribe to the channel as well if you enjoy this content. I'll continue to make it for you. Today, we're going to talk about the price action in the indices. Today was a very strange day, catalyzed by a very strange weekend. So we're going to talk about that price action. We'll go into the hood as we always do. We will look at our sectors and style factors. We'll take a look at some of my trades for the day. And we'll also go through some options order flow at the end of the video. Before we jump in, quick risk disclaimer, nothing in the video should be construed as investment advice or recommendations. Please follow your own trading plan and your own risk parameters. And last but certainly not least, do not YOLO your entire account into any one of my trades. All right, so let's jump in for today and let's take a look at this price action. So we finished out with the S&P 500 as measured by the SPY down 0.25%. We had the NASDAQ QQQ finish down 0.61%. We actually had the IWM small caps finish positive for the day. They were up 0.14%. And then we had the Dow Jones close down 0.18%. So taking a look here, we had two very bullish days to end last week after taking a pretty big spill here. Today we ended up with an inside day. At various points during the trading session, it really looked as though we were going to slip into the abyss. We had a lot of crazy events this weekend. So we had, market was already pretty fearful. There was a lot of put activity going up. Positioning data showed we were pretty light, CNN fear and greed index, all that good stuff. And then we had this volatility scare in the crypto market over the weekend, catalyzed by Elon Musk basically dogging on Bitcoin, saying he prefers Doge. And yet, he alluded to the fact that maybe Tesla sold all their Bitcoin, and it really caused a big technical breakdown. Bitcoin and Ethereum, really all these cryptocurrencies, they're down about like 20 to 30% over the course of a week or so. And so when that happened, it's like, oh gosh, are there going to be like crazy margin calls in the crypto space that end up spilling over to equities? We did have a bit of a scare today, but it looks like overall the market's held in very nicely. This really is a Teflon market where, we have inflation fears, that doesn't bring it down. We've got crypto crashes, that doesn't bring it down. This market is very resilient. So you can see we closed down 0.25%. We held above this 5-day exponential moving average. We closed right around this 20-day simple moving average. It looks like, in the after hour session right now, we're up just a tad, up 0.07%. At this point, we're really just trading within this monthly value area, and we are continuing along this trend of really just moving sideways. Now, if we flip over to the NQ, that's where we saw a lot of this weakness today. So you can see the NQ, especially say if we had closed on the lows today, what would that have looked like? It really would have looked like just another bounce within this bearish trend. I think we did a little bit better than that. You can see we closed above this 5-day EMA. So we'll have to see what the river brings tomorrow. Really just an inside day. Overall, just some consolidation. And looking at our Russell, actually closed up 0.13%. So the Russell, showing a lot of resilience today and essentially putting in a hammer candle. But this one, again, we are really just trading inside value. And overall, we've been chopping around for a few months. And then let's look at the Dow Jones. Dow Jones has been very strong. Finished positive, or actually finished slightly negative for the day. And you can see this one also pretty much put in a hammer candle. It's actually trading above this monthly value area. Throughout the day, I was really watching the VVIX as well as the VIX. And you can see the VIX, put in this, really ugly, exhaustion candle. So this is good if you're bullish, where the VIX really couldn't maintain its bid into the end of the day and closed on the lows. Same thing with VVIX. Now you can see the VVIX also, at one point this was very elevated. It was kind of scary. It was up maybe like 10% on the day. And that's not, ideal conditions if you're bullish on the market. This one as well closed very close to the lows, which I always love to see. Now let's take a look under the hood here, and you can see these are our advancers and decliners. So the breadth was pretty dreadful throughout the entire day. At one point, this was like 110 advancers in the S&P 500. I noticed the breadth data just kept jumping around all day, but couldn't really get off the mat. And typically these kinds of days are a little bit more ambiguous. I try to do a little bit less. But yeah, you can see IWM breadth finished positive, and all of these, they're well off the lows of the day. Then checking out our FinViz heat map, you can see tech really struggled again today. Semiconductors got hit hard on the open. Tesla really struggled, but you can see some of these mega cap names actually held in nicely. Google, which I have a call spread in, closed up 0.46%. Facebook, which I have a position in, closed, I believe it was like down 0.13%. You can see Amazon was pretty strong as well. And then also, we can't forget energy, which has been on a great run. These materials names as well. So yeah, there were some pockets of strength. It wasn't all bad. But yeah, technology shares really got the worst of it today. And, let's take a look. We'll pull up Tesla. We actually found out that Michael Burry, has a huge short position in Tesla. So it's kind of interesting where you have like this clash of the titans. You have Cathie Wood, who's, very bullish. You have Michael Burry, who's also an incredible investor that has been short this thing. And you can see, I don't think Elon Musk really helped himself over the weekend. His stock was already pretty much in free fall. But you can see it actually put in a slightly green candle, and this really is a doji. Trading well off the lows, so we'll have to see what it does for the rest of the week. I think this one could surprise people, because I think the last thing they would expect is for this thing to bounce here. So we'll have to see how it plays out. The interesting thing about today's price action is, every week I create a watch list for Pristine Capital members. A lot of these ideas on the watch list were really working today, despite overall, weak breadth in the indices. So to me, that's definitely like a positive indication where it's not like a classic liquidation event where it's like, oh my gosh, everything in the market is down. So you can see Roblox. This is my largest position. I'm long this name via commons and some calls. This one closed right on the upper end of its IPO base. And looking at the hourly chart, this one, it broke above this weekly value area. So I'm actually looking for this one to run to some higher levels tomorrow. We'll see if it can get the job done. But yeah, I really like this name, honestly, for the long term. I have this one in the trend portfolio as well, as one of the larger positions there. So Roblox, another name, I was actually just on the earnings call for Blade. This name, I added some call options on this one, on this candle right here. And I got those call options pretty close to the lows. I believe I picked them up when Blade was trading at around like $6.50. I'm long the $7.50 strike calls. And, Blade had earnings today, had a little bit of a run into the report, and now it's trading right at my strike price of $7.50. Those calls, as of right now, they're marking at about like $1.10. I'd paid, I think, 69 cents for those. So we'll have to see if we get some sort of positive reaction tomorrow. I listened in on the call. I took a look at the report. I think everything looks pretty good. It's not like they were raising their guidance or anything. But if Blade can at least hit their projections that they have, right now they're trading at 11.9 times their 2021 estimated revenue. And they're trading at 1.5 times their estimated 2024 revenue. So I think this is a company where if they can execute, this will end up being a good buy point, or at least that 650 area, certainly. I thought it was kind of interesting. I think the CEO sounded great on the call. It was pretty funny though. They asked on the call, hey, is there anyone that has any questions? And I typically love listening to the Q&A on the earnings calls because that's where you can really learn a lot about the company. And there were no questions. So I don't know if it was just like no analysts on the call or nobody covers this company. But we'll see if they have some sort of reaction to the print tomorrow. Maybe there's some more awareness about this stock. But either way, those calls are looking good. This Upstart, which was on the watch list, this one, had a really strong close here. This one, I'll definitely be watching this name tomorrow. But yeah, let's take a look kind of off topic there. I just wanted to show some of these names and some of the movements in the market. Let's look quick though at the performance of these sectors. So you can see the gold miners really performing today, up 4.86%. They are in the top slot in terms of momentum here. But you can see most of these sectors that I track actually closed red. So yeah, overall, and this looked way worse at certain parts of the day. So overall, this wasn't like, oh my gosh, what a great day of price action. There were select areas of the market that did well. Now let's see here, our style factors. You can see the high beta style factor did very well, and the high div low vol style factor did well also, and then cyclicals. So we're still showing this value trade, rotation trade into inflation sensitive names, but we are starting to see some cracks where like agriculture is declining a little bit, commodities. But yeah, and then the worst performing style factor was the momentum style factor. I don't think Tesla helped that one bit. So let's take a look at some of my trades for today. Today I tried to be a little bit less active just because, the price action looked really ambiguous to me. So let's see here. So for stock trading, I got long some PLBY common shares for $49.32. And you can see PLBY had a pretty steep pullback here. And now it is trading just below that monthly value area high. So yeah, we'll see if we can break out above that monthly value area high tomorrow. Yeah, PLBY getting a lot heavier into the NFT space, which is pretty cool. And this name, it's just had very strong momentum here. So yeah, we'll see if we can get some higher levels in PLBY. And then what else did we have here? No, not here. We are looking over here. So for options trades, at 9:55, I took some puts on the S&P 500. I took some July 413 strike puts for 11.25. We'll see if these end up coming in handy. Just wanted to add a put, a hedge, because I have a lot of long exposure on. I closed out. I have this Altria Butterfly. This one pretty much as soon as I put it on, the center strike is 49. Altria just zipped right to 50. And it's looking like this thing is going to break to higher levels, to be quite honest. Now we're getting this little consolidation. So I figured, I'll just take this one off for a very, very tiny winner, essentially a scratch, and just free up that risk capital. And then, yeah, so I did that. And then I took an earnings trade. I got long the Baidu May 21st, 187.5 by 200 call spread for $4.63. Baidu is a name, I was doing some reading this weekend. This is a name I've been watching very closely for quite some time. Baidu, I traded this one a lot in 2020. This is one of my best names. In 2021, we had the Bill Huang blow up. And ever since then, this name has pretty much been in the doldrums. I noticed George Soros added a position in Baidu via his last 13F filing. I believe David Tepper also added a position in Baidu. And overall, these Chinese equities are just incredibly oversold at this point. They report earnings tomorrow morning. So yeah, we'll see if we can get above that 200 strike. Now let's see also here. Let's pull this up. Yeah, so you can see for the May 21st expiration, this is MaximumPain.com. The max pain levels where the majority of options will expire worthless, or the most options will expire worthless. That max pain point is the 200 strike. So you can see there, it looks like there's a lot of puts. There's a put wall here at 190. So I would imagine, if Baidu produces even, a modestly good earnings report, I would imagine those puts are going to get, just absolutely burned. And then at 200, we have a nice call wall here. So we'll have to see, what Baidu does. I would certainly love to see it rally up to that 200 strike. That about does it for my trades for today. Let's take a look at some of this options order flow. And so what I noticed was by and large, we definitely had some very bearish order flow today. You can see, we had some green orders for SPX early in the morning. Looks like a bullish Tesla position. But over the course of the day, you can see, we had this mix here, and towards like the early afternoon, all this flow started coming in bearish. So you can see a lot of S&P 500 puts, Tesla puts, Square. You can see an ARC order came in. They love to short that one. You can see Fitch, or this is Farfetch. Playboy, we saw a call position, and that prompted me to really, put my foot on the gas and enter some common shares. And then, into the close, we also had puts. So we are seeing, elevated put buying over the past, couple weeks. So definitely want to see how that all plays out. And let's see here. I noticed a lot of puts in this JD. Let's see JD. This name, I believe it's already pretty much like left for dead. Yeah, JD not looking so hot. One of the names I'm going to be looking at for tomorrow, actually, is Starbucks. This name, you can see it pulled back, and now it doesn't really look like there's much more selling pressure. It's just kind of consolidating very tightly here. With that being said, that about does it for this market recap video. Hope you all had an awesome trading day, and I will see you all in the pre-market webinar tomorrow.